My name is Mark Jordan. I'm with Memphis Record Pressing. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Hopefully we're going to have some fun here tonight, talk about some records and music and just have a good time. But I did want to, was already planning on dedicating this evening to my friend, bandmate, Jared McStay, who, with John Miller, who you'll meet here in a minute, is one of the co-owners of Shangri-La Records, which has been a mainstay of indie record stores in this town for 30-something years. But we just got word a few minutes ago that Jared actually passed away today. So we still obviously want to dedicate this evening to him, but it might, hopefully there'll be tears of joy, but there might be some tears tonight as well with the laughs and the music. So anyway, let's go ahead and have a minute of silence for Jared. Why don't we just go ahead and do that?
I started at Shangri-La about 10 years ago, and I loved that this town was a record store town, even if we didn't have a ton. Getting to go in there and talk with Jared, talk with Andrew McCalla, the people that he brought in around him, were music people, and they cared about the local scene. They cared about members of the bands who were making things, and having a place that supported that and made it possible, the same thing that these guys are doing. I think that is an incredibly noble venture, and it really inspired me. At that point, I was working there and for 3 other businesses at the time because I'm an insane person. Mm-hmm. And when Jared asked me to come along and help a little bit more, I didn't even hesitate. Getting to work with him has been so much fun, and it was at a time in my life where I knew I was tired of working at places that were run by people that had already kind of done whatever they were doing in life, and they were running their business because they had just gotten a number of years in and they had seniority and they didn't really care. That was never the case with Jared. He always cared. That guy saw more shows than any 50 people put together. He loved supporting this town. He loved supporting the scene. And getting to work with him, like I said, for this 10 years, I can't imagine having had more fun putting on shows and hanging out, watching Grizzlies games. I mean, he was a Memphis guy through and through. I know a lot of people in this room have had great interactions with him, whether it was golfing or at the store or going to Grizz or Tigers games or just hanging out in his backyard. He had a wild backyard, more obscure memorabilia than you could possibly fathom. He was always a guy that loved the city and loved seeing people have success in the city, and I think that's the spirit that you see up here, and I hope that we can all keep that going forward because he certainly deserves it.
So Jared did an amazing job with running Shangri-La over the years and having them as sort of the other store in town forever, but always feeling super comfortable about there was never any competition. It was always just like. There's another great store in Memphis, and like John said, you saw him at he was out more than anybody at shows. He was always out at shows. If you didn't go and see a show, he was probably there. You could call him up and find out how that show was.
Or he was playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. But so I sort of appreciated everything that he had done and knew him from seeing him at shows, but starting the pandemic, Robbie Grant set up this sort of this golf thing that I started doing. I hadn't really been much of a golfer, but pandemic changes everybody in all kinds of different weird ways. So that was my thing, and I wound up playing a bunch of golf. I wound up playing a bunch of golf with Jared, and the pandemic time, you couldn't get around and weren't around anybody else. So you're dealing with all these things and everything's going on in your own head. in super strange ways, and 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 somehow we were able to go and process all of that pandemic thing together in out hitting a little tiny ball out in the middle of the field someplace, and there was something really great about that. I got real close with them over the past 3 years, more than I had before then, and it is going to be a big loss for Memphis.
Yeah, I knew Jared for a long time before he had Shangri-La, and we started putting out records with the Grifters, and Jared played guitar, but I'd never really seen him. Then he came out with this band that was just an amazing band. I mean, he wrote these killer pop songs, could play guitar, it's funny, clever, and I was like, dang. And he let my band play his wedding, and I didn't really know him that well, and I just thought he was just so effortlessly cool, seemingly goofy, but way more on top of the ball than you might realize. And like I said, it's always been just more camaraderie than anything, having our stores over the years. And I miss it.
Yeah, I mean, being the new guy, I mean, these two stores obviously in Midtown, and they've been the staple of record stores in town for years and years. Jared and these guys at Goner, I mean, I do remember seeing Jared at a lot of shows. So, Jared would definitely be at a lot of shows, but I mean, John, said it best. I mean, you miss any time somebody from this scene, the music scene, we're getting up there in age, and it's scary that that stuff's happening, but I'll miss him for sure.
Yeah.
One other quick thing. Earlier today, you mentioned seeing his band play and just how bitchin' they were. Greg Cartwright came by the shop today, and he and I were talking. If you don't know Greg, you should listen to everything he's ever done. It's amazing. And Greg, who Jared held in the absolute highest regard, Greg was saying today, I remember seeing when the Simple Tones first came on the scene, and it was not just the best power trio in town, it was the best band period in town, and I wanted my band to live up to that. And the effortless cool, the goofy and awesome thing, Jared wore all those things so effortlessly. It was who he was, and he never tried to be anything else. And I think that's a mark of somebody who knew what they wanted to do and just set out to do it, and did it well. So whether it was the band, the store, his 25-year relationship with Lori, or anything, he'll be long remembered here. So, cheers to Jared.
Cheers.